Developers are responsible for more than ever these days, not just the code they write, but also the containers and cloud infrastructure their apps run on, and probably the billing on top of that, which is neither here nor there. And a big part of that responsibility is app security, from code to cloud. That's where Snyk comes in. Snyk is a frictionless security platform that meets teams where they are, automating application security controls across their existing tools, workflows, and the AWS application stack, including seamless integrations with AWS Code Pipeline, Amazon EKS, Amazon Inspector, and several others. Deploy on AWS, secure with Snyk. Learn more at snyk.co/morning. That's snyk.co/morning. And my thanks to them for sponsoring my ridiculous nonsense.
Hello and welcome to Last Week in AWS, the podcast. Let's see what AWS got up to last week. AWS CloudTrail Lake now supports selective start or stop ingestion of CloudTrail events. Ooh, this just got a lot more cost-effective for some folks. I love this service. AWS Glue for Ray is now generally available. AWS increases its micro-segment service targeting. Route 53 for Corey is great, but Systems Manager Parameter Store for Sharon is just goofy. AWS Lambda adds support for Ruby 3.2. Whoa, they're ahead of the game. This version is almost 3 years before it goes EOL. AWS Mainframe Modernization Service is now HIPAA eligible. If your medical workload is running on a mainframe in 2023, I have to assume your treatment protocol includes leeches and has compliance concerns centered around avoiding accusations of witchcraft. Note that some modern medical protocols do in fact include leeches for limb reattachment. It's called herudotherapy. Those people probably aren't on mainframes. Announcing AWS Snowblade for U.S. Department of Defense JWCC customers, and only those customers because this thing is either plutonium-powered or is priced as if it were. AWS Trusted Advisor adds new checks for Amazon EFS. Oh, good, a computer can give inane and possibly harmful contradictory advice about a service I really like. In case you missed it, I neither like nor respect Trusted Advisor ever since it recommended I buy an RI for an EC2 instance, right-size it to be smaller, and turn it off entirely, then counted the savings for all three of those different mutually exclusive options. Announcing the general availability of AWS Data Migration Service Serverless. Service serverless, you say? I wish AWS would stop using the word entirely, since it very clearly doesn't care what it means to customers and are weakening it massively. Announcing Livetail in Amazon CloudWatch Logs, providing real-time exploration of logs. That's right, announcing Tail-F as a service, wherein it costs you a penny per minute to use after a fairly generous 1,800 minute a month perpetual free tier. I'm unreasonably happy about this. It's how I use CloudWatch Logs myself at least 95% of the time. AWS announces scripts to bulk updates policies per new AWS billing and cost management permissions. Oh, you've been screaming about those permissions for ages, making people migrate them manually, and only now do you release an automated tool to make this easy on us? I need a minute, or I'm going to say something uncharitable here. Drug Analyzer on AWS provides analytics that inform treatment decisions and support new therapies. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. This is your brain on an AWS bill. I bet you miss the drugs now.
This episode is brought to us by our friends at Chaos Search. Chaos Search transforms Amazon S3 in your account into a search and SQL analytical database with unlimited data retention. That's right. Just stream your data into your existing S3 storage, connect it to Chaos Search, and voila! You can instantly use the built-in OpenSearch dashboards or the Elastic and SQL APIs to achieve best-of-breed observability, create a security data lake, and gain deeper application insights. Chaos Search reduces your existing analytics costs by at least 30%, and in many cases, 80% of your current costs. Companies like Equifax, Blackboard, Armor, and more are all using Chaos Search to deliver better, faster insights at a fraction of their prior solutions cost. Chaos Search has revolutionized big data analytics, so visit chaossearch.io today to see how they can help you. and tell them I sent you just because I enjoy watching people flinch.
Selecting cost-effective capacity reservations for your business-critical workloads on Amazon EC2. Okay, I have read this article twice, and I still do not understand why someone would purchase an on-demand capacity reservation. It costs the same as the running instance would cost, so why not have the instance up and running on demand already? Announcing container image signing with AWS Signer and Amazon EKS. All of my containers are signed with stop because my code is atrocious. How to deploy workloads in a multi-cloud environment with AWS developer tools. If you're using multiple clouds for the same workload, don't. You're presumably using the best each cloud has to offer. If you're doing that, then why in creation would you use AWS's CI/CD tooling instead of either Google's or Azure's? How businesses can gain e-commerce capabilities to increase sales. Did you know that you can sell things on the internet now? Thanks, AWS. I had no idea. A guide to maintaining a healthy email database. I've gotten the same email from AWS 30 times, and I'm frequently referred to as working for Duckbill Group DND Ringfence in emails from my account team. But please, go off. Using Amazon IVS for turnkey town halls. Democracy is very, very far from free when you get IVS in the mix. AWS's long-term commitment to Virginia. Well, you have over $50 billion invested there so far in terms of hardware that you can't exactly stuff into a shipping container and move elsewhere, so anyone who thinks AWS isn't committed to Virginia is a fool. Enter the local politicians who are convinced you'll pull out if you aren't given enormous tax breaks. And finally, how AWS data centers reuse retired hardware. This is fascinating. There are several more steps than I thought between time to decommission this hardware and AWS throwing the server chassis into the ocean as if it were a car battery. And that's what happened last week in AWS. I'm cloud economist Corey Quinn. Please stay salty.